She looked me dead in the eye and said I was stealing from her. Me, the photographer she'd been haggling for 3 weeks to work for free, I was stealing from her. I still can't say that without laughing and also wanting to flip a table. So, a little backstory: I'm a freelance photographer. Portraits, events, small businesses, that kind of thing. I've been doing this for 6 years. I have a real portfolio, real gear, real rates. I'm not a hobbyist with a phone. This is my actual job. About 3 weeks before all this went down, a woman, I'll call her Dana, slid into my Instagram DMs asking about headshots. Professional headshots, she said, for her new life coaching business. Cool, totally normal. I quoted her my standard rate, which is genuinely reasonable for the market, and that's where things started going sideways. She came back with, and I quote, "Wow, that seems high for just taking pictures." Just taking pictures. 3 weeks of back and forth, every single time I thought we were done, she'd find a new angle, but I kept engaging because honestly I thought she'd come around. Reader, she did not come around. The first ask was classic choosing beggar playbook. She said she couldn't pay my full rate, but she'd give me exposure. Her life coaching audience, she said, was very engaged. I told her politely that exposure doesn't pay my equipment insurance. She came back immediately with, "But this could really launch your brand into a new demographic." I said thank you, I'll pass, but I offered to do a mini session at a discounted rate, 20 minutes, 5 edited images, a price that was already doing her a favor. She said she'd think about it. Fine. 3 days later, she came back with beat 2. She wanted the full session, 2 hours, location of her choice, unlimited edited images, and she'd pay me after she started making money from her business. Pay me later, when her business took off, on my images. I explained that's not how professional services work. I don't do payment plans tied to a client's future revenue. I'm a photographer, not an investor. She said, and I am quoting this word for word, "I just feel like you don't believe in female entrepreneurs." No, I did not take that well, but I stayed calm. I said I believe in female entrepreneurs deeply, including myself, which is why I charge for my work. Still offered the mini session. She declined again. Then came beat 3, and honestly, this is the one that made my eye twitch. She emailed me, actually emailed, like she wanted a paper trail, asking if I would shoot the full session for free in exchange for a collaboration credit on her website, and then she would purchase the images at a later date at a price we both feel is fair. A price we both feel is fair. Meaning she'd decide what my finished, professional work was worth after she already had it. I wrote back one line: "That's not something I'm able to do, but my standard rate and the discounted mini session offer still stand." She left me on read for 4 days. I thought it was over. It was not over. She showed up at a coffee shop I'd mentioned in passing during our DMs. I'd said I sometimes work from this place on Thursdays. She walked in, spotted me, sat down across from me like we had an appointment, and opened her laptop. I'm sitting there with my own work open, headphones half in, and she just starts. "I've been thinking about our arrangement, and I've decided the fairest thing is you shoot the session Saturday, and I pay you $50 as a gesture of good faith." $50. For a 2 hour session plus editing. I told her, as evenly as I could manage, that I hadn't agreed to any arrangement, and $50 wasn't something I could accept. She said, in the middle of this coffee shop, not quietly, "You know what your problem is? You think your little pictures are worth more than supporting someone who's actually trying to build something real." Little pictures. I closed my laptop. I told her this conversation was over and I wouldn't be taking her on as a client. And then she said it, the line. She pointed at my camera bag sitting next to me and said, "I could report you. You've been stringing me along for weeks, you gave me expectations, and now you're backing out. That's theft. You're stealing my time and my vision." Theft, my theft. I looked at her for a second, and then I said, loud enough that the two tables near us definitely heard, "You have never paid me a single dollar. You have never signed a contract. You have never been my client. You are a stranger who has been trying to get free labor for 3 weeks. Please don't contact me again." Was that too loud? Maybe, but I didn't lower my voice. Dana wasn't done. She started pulling up something on her phone, saying she was going to leave me a review, saying she was going to warn other entrepreneurs about me. The barista, who had clearly been listening, because the place was not that loud, walked over and said, very calmly, "Hey, I'm going to need you to keep it down or take the conversation outside. This is a workspace for our regulars." Dana looked at him. Then at the two people at the next table who were not even pretending not to stare. She said, "This is unbelievable," and started packing up her laptop. Slowly. The kind of slow that's meant to be dignified but just reads as flustered. She walked out, and the woman at the table next to me, I did not know her, total stranger, leaned over and said, "She really came to your job to harass you, huh?" Yeah, she really did. Dana did leave me a 1-star review. Said I was unprofessional and led her on. I responded publicly with, You contacted me seeking professional photography services and declined every offer I made. I wish you the best with your business. 4 people liked the response within an hour. My inbox got 2 new client inquiries that week. So, honestly though, was I too harsh? Because some people are going to say I should have just blocked her from the start and saved myself the drama. Maybe, but I want to know what you would have done. Comment below.